It's time for Lefties Losing It. Let's start in Minnesota, where the spin doctors have been busy fighting back after revelations of mass fraud and dysfunction in the Somali community, and they're putting their best and brightest to work in front of the media to explain what it means to be Somali in America.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American.
Okay, hon, I know it's hard, but you can do this. You've already made it clear that being Somali is not about eating bananas with rice. That's a lie. You got this.
And it's kind of like the bananas and rice. You know, people don't really see, like, you know, it's you know, people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of banana and rice, but you're going to get what I mean.
You literally said it wasn't about bananas and rice. They are not sending their best. Now, staying in Minnesota, let's check in on the frightfully inept Governor Tim Walz. He is, with his scary wife, speaking from behind the gates of his mansion.
The resistance matters. We're not telling people to be silent, but we're not telling people to go out and cause problems. We're going to cause good trouble.
Cause trouble, all right, not good trouble, mind you. No good comes from coming to a violent uprising with a loaded gun and extra ammo and violently obstructing law enforcement officers. That's what happened in Minneapolis, and that's why a man is dead. But not if you listen to the Hollywood elite. They think they're living in Nazi Germany, and those enforcing the law are guilty of gross human rights violations. Here is the beautiful but bonkers Natalie Portman.
What's going on in our country right now is absolutely horrific with what the federal government, Trump's government, Kristi Noem, ICE, what they're doing is really the worst of humanity. And then we also have the best of humanity for the way people are showing up for each other in community and Americans coming out to support each other and protect each other and fight against injustice.
So pretty, but so stupid. Americans coming out to support each other? Really, Natalie? That's not what's happening. You've got the lunatic left coming out to obstruct law enforcement and to protect criminals from deportation. We're not talking about peaceful protest here. We're talking about obstructing law enforcement, attacking law enforcement. But again, the facts are lost on the Hollywood darlings. Here's Olivia Wilde, who is allegedly an actress. Here she emotes wildly.
The world is hurting right now, and this country is hurting, and it's appalling. I'm appalled. I'm sickened. And we can't go another day just sort of accepting this as our new norm. It's outrageous. People are being murdered. And I don't want to normalize seeing people being murdered on the internet, on film. It's hideous. And so if we can do anything out here to support the movement to cast ICE out, to delegitimize this unbelievably criminal organization, then that's what we should be doing. So I'm proud to wear the pin.
And here is Chris Cuomo, looking like he hasn't slept or showered for days. And according to the former CNN hack, it is the government that must back down. Let the violent agitators and insurrectionists have their day. Great idea, Chris.
The video accounts show a very troubling episode that beg for accountability and de-escalation. And it has to start with the government. Okay, we have to start at the top. These are the people who are charged with knowing how and insisting on de-escalation. The hot talk, the constant threats, the constant justification, it has to stop. We can't have government agents shooting and killing American citizens.
Let's bring in Newsweek's senior editor-at-large and Article 3 Project Senior Counsel Josh Hammer. Josh, Chris Como argues that the de-escalation must start at the top, that law enforcement, government officials must back down. Do you agree?
Rita, last I checked, it wasn't the job of law enforcement to de-escalate or back down. Rather, last time I checked, and I'm pretty confident in this, in fact, as a lawyer myself, it's the job of law enforcement to, to enforce the law. It's literally in the name law enforcement. The day that federal law enforcement stops enforcing federal law ceases to be taken seriously. But, Rita, this is so evocative of some of the worst moments in American history. Look, I'm born on Abraham Lincoln's birthday. I think about the American Civil War a lot, probably more often, frankly, than I should. When we look at what some of today's leading provocateurs, these Minnesota anarchist insurrectionists who have been essentially trying to stir the passions of the anti-ICE demagoguery, there are people like Tim Walz and Keith Ellison and Jacob Fry. I was listening to Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota. He was reading off his complaints from this lawsuit that the state of Minnesota has filed against DHS and ICE alongside the city of Minneapolis there. And he was saying how the 10th Amendment and states' rights, the federal government does not belong here. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, man, if you took this Muslim guy from Minnesota and you put on a thick Southern accent, the 10th Amendment, states' rights, the federal government does not belong here. I mean, it's like, my God, like we literally fought a civil war over this. I mean, this is literally just 1940s or 1840s, 1850s era antebellum Southern secessionary fervor. I mean, this is the ghost of John C. Calhoun, Jefferson Davis, Stonewall Jackson. They don't see it that way, but that's literally exactly what it is. So look, on the one hand, Minnesota looks like a failed state. And certainly, on the one hand, as an economic conservative, I don't necessarily want to waste resources trying to rehabilitate this clearly failed boondoggle state. On the other hand, the unmitigated supremacy of federal law, which, by the way, is a constitutionally required proposition under Article 6 of the Constitution. That's the supremacy clause. It's constitutionally required. And, as I said, we literally fought a civil war. Over 600,000 Americans died. They paid the ultimate sacrifice to establish the timeless principle that federal law is supreme in this country. And now it's on the Trump administration to enforce that, to enforce the lessons of Abraham Lincoln, not to bow in the face of the dullard Chris Cuomo and various other nincompoops like that.